Hey guys, Andy back here from Mediocre Hobbies, bringing you yet another painting tutorial. This time it's the third video in the new Kill Team box set series. So we've already gotten the new Sister of Battle out of the way. We've posted up a quick how-to on the scenery, and now it's time for the T'au Pathfinder. The only difference between the box set and the models that I painted up so far is going to be the T'au Sept that I chose to do for this video. I personally am a huge fan of the white armored Tau. I much prefer the original Tau Sept colors, the desert and tan colored scheme. And I've actually had a comment on a previous video asking me to do a tutorial on that armor, so I thought I'd kill two birds with one stone. So that's what I've done here today. I really hope you guys stick around at the end and check it out, and yeah, enjoy. Okay guys, standard base coat that I use applies to this guy. So it was all over coat of Chaos Black and then a zenithal spray of the grey Seer. First thing we're going to be working on is the Nazdreg Yellow contrast, and we're going to apply this to the armor panels. It's the closest contrast I believe there is to the T'au Sept colors. It's a little bit dark, but that's totally fine. We're going to be layering it up later on anyway. So this just gives a fantastic base coat. A fantastic quick base coat. It allows you to get the base coat on the miniature in, I don't know, 10-15 seconds, as opposed to spending 5-10 minutes with a brush carefully layering it on. That's my favorite thing about contrast, is how quickly you can base coat up miniatures, which is the tedious part of painting, I find. Okay, now it's time to base coat the fatigues. The color that I've gone for with this is Wyldwood. The T'au Sept colors, their fatigues have always been quite a dark brown, so I decided to start with Wyldwood. So I'm going to carefully apply this to all of the fabric parts of the miniature. So his cloth pants, his under his armor panels on his arms, his boots, and I go all the way down to the feet with this as well. Now with the Wyldwood base coat on, it's time with the only really other color on the miniature is black. So I've gone for a bit of black Templar contrast, and this is just for the parts on the gun that would in other armies be metallics. Tau don't use a lot of metals, they use like carbon fibers and stuff like that, ceramics. So we're going to go in with contrast black and black out the stock frame of the gun. I wasn't sure exactly which parts of this were supposed to be black, so I did use a reference picture. So there's no harm in looking up T'au Pathfinder weapon and seeing which parts of it are supposed to be black and which parts of it are supposed to be tan. Once that's done, that is the three primary colors on the miniature. So now what we're going to do is give it an all-over shade. And the shade I've chosen for this is Seraphim Sepia. That warm brown, touch of red, touch of yellow in it. Great for all of these colors, great for going over the brown and the yellow armor. So like my approach to applying contrast, I basically slather on quite a lot of it, and then I pull away any of the extra parts that are pooling places that I don't want it to. That gives me a nice smooth coat of shade. As is tradition with my videos, while the shade was drying, I based up the miniature just to add a little bit extra neatness to it. It helps with the overall aesthetic. So a little bit of Legion Drab I'm using to layer up the trousers. So I just took my time, went around, tried not to fill in too many of the deep creases, leave the Wyldwood wash down in those crevices, and then layer up the fabric. I personally thought after I was finished layering this up that it was a slight bit too bright. It was a bit more kind of standoutish than I wanted it to be. I wanted the armor to be the main focus. So after I was finished applying it all, I decided to knock it back a little bit with some Nuln Oil. After I back and checked that reference picture again, I realized how dark the trousers actually were. So one quick coat of Nuln Oil, darken them all back down again, and then I was happy to leave them there at that colour. And that's the result of the cloth being washed down. It knocked it back to a much more pleasing state for me. So now it's on to the Tau Light Ochre. We are going to be using this to layer up the armour. There is no shortcut to doing this. If you're going to be brush painting the Tau, you're going to have to take your time with your brush and layer up all of those panels individually. It is a slightly tedious process. I think the results are fantastic. So I'll show you here that I quickly did. My first coat was quite streaky. I'll show you here. So that's coat number 1. You can see a lot of brush strokes still shining through. So I go through and follow through with a second coat of the Tau Light Ochre. And this really pulls up the colour, gives a nice smooth coat, and one that I would be happy leaving the miniature at. As I tidy up this panel on the head with my second coat, I will then show you the different halves of the head, and you can see the difference of layering up a second time. It's absolutely huge. And here is the Tau armour layered up twice. And I love this look. This is what I meant in the intro, and I much prefer this colour scheme. I just think it's so unique. I love it. So just to add a little bit of sharp detail back in, we're going to dry brush Tyrant's skull over the armour panels. And like I've said in previous videos, it's that directional dry brush. It's almost like scraping the brush against the edges of armour panels and stuff. This is just going to add a touch of highlight to the armour and the cloth. And just basically pull all the colours together. This is a very light dry brush. You should barely see any paint left behind during each pass. But it just helps polish off the model. Mephiston Red is what we're going to use for his eye lenses. So just 2 careful circles in the right side of his helmet. Be careful, as you can see by the name on the brush, I'm using an Artificer brush here, really fine point, just to make sure I don't make a mess of this and hit any of that tan colour with the red, because that will stain it quite badly. And this, in my opinion, is a finished Tau. I would be very happy leaving this guy to this standard. Painting up all 10 of the guys out of the box set and playing a few cool games of Kill Team. And there we have it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I hope after watching this you now know how to paint the traditional T'au Sept armor up, no problem. This is, like I said, the 3rd video, so hopefully after this you can get your entire Kill Team set painted up quick and effectively and to a standard that you'll be really happy with. If that's the case, drop the video a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and support me. And yeah, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below and I will do my best to answer each and every one of them. Until the next video, bye.